They had recently started their lives together. Joshua and Amelia, both working for Chase Bank, were married for 11 months when their lives changed forever. The couple was convicted and sentenced in relation with a brutal killing of a mother and her son in their Orlando apartment on July 18. The victims, Cynthia Stack and Sean Stack, lived on the West Jefferson Street apartment in Paramore, where they were shot multiple times. The police was called at the apartment complex at about 7 a.m. when the neighbor discovered the bodies as she was walking her dog. The Orlando PD started their investigation right away and found out about a red Altima car that was spotted near the crime scene. Detectives pulled out the family history and quickly found out that Cynthia's father, Gerald Stack, was having some memory problems. Cynthia was suspicious of him being frauded. After talking with Gerald, the detectives then focused on his bank account and contacted Chase Bank, where things finally began to unveil. Recent transactions on his account showed large withdrawals in the form of checks that were unaccountable for. On further investigation, they found out that Amelia Bisson, the personal banker, was the one who had processed the transaction. When it was confirmed that her husband has a red Altima car, the police immediately gets them in for questioning.
Hey, they got those off you, right? Yeah. Okay. Here, I brought you some water. So, I kind of introduced myself out there, but I don't know if you heard me or not. I'm Brian Ferrer with OPD. This is Mike Mareschi. Amelia. Okay. All right, Amelia. Obviously, you want to know what's going on, and we want to talk to you about some stuff. Okay. So, let me start at the beginning. I'm gonna record everything this way we don't miss anything. All right. Okay. All right.
Am I getting arrested or something for something, or?
We're gonna explain it to you.
Yeah, we'll explain it all to you. Okay.
Amelia is then read her rights, and they start by asking her questions about her work and her personal life.
How long you guys been married?
It'll be a year in September.
Oh, okay. So you went to Valencia. What did you get? Did you get associates?
Yeah.
What did you get?
Business management, minor in finance. Yeah.
You start your own business one day?
I'm a dance instructor, so.
Oh, okay.
I'd love to.
Okay, so you work for Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long you work for Chase for?
December will be 3 years, I believe, or 4 years. I'm not too sure. 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Any issues while you're working at Chase?
No. I got a write-up recently.
You did?
Yeah.
What happened?
When was this, in May?
Mm-hmm.
I issued 2 checks for a customer, and I got a write-up for that because they weren't in the branch.
Okay.
But other than that, I've been pretty okay at work. I have a good boss. Always had a good boss.
All right. So, Amelia, I can tell you the reason why we're here today is because of that issue with the bank. Okay. All right. Does that surprise you?
For this type of situation, yeah.
Okay.
Like this intense. I mean, I got in trouble at work, which makes sense, but I'm just confused about this.
Well, let's walk through it a little bit, okay? Let's walk through that and see how maybe we came here today, all right, and find out if this was just a misunderstanding or what, okay? So, what was the name of the customer?
Gerald.
Okay.
Mr. Gerald.
You know his last name?
Stack, I think.
Okay. How long did you know him?
Oh, wow, yeah. Since I moved here, actually. Since last year, July.
And how did you meet him?
At the bank.
Okay. And that was at the Pine Hills branch?
No, I used to work for Americana.
Okay. So what happened with this write-up? So, I mean, had you been a banker for him for a while? I mean...
Yeah, so I've been his banker since I moved here.
Did you... Okay.
Since we moved here.
So what happened with these checks?
Nothing. I should called them. I have the record over global security.
Mm-hmm.
So when they came in, they pulled like call logs, they pulled like cameras, just to make sure like they pulled signature files. Because I mean, it's still federal, it's the bank. So they wanted to make sure that I wasn't like, I guess, stealing.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to like do this whole like track record of contact him, make sure that like he did give me permission to go ahead and pull this money out of the account, to write these 2 checks out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
She tells them that she was written up at work as she had made out 2 checks from the account when Gerald was not in the branch. This is incorrect, as she had never got permission from him. The Chase Bank management had launched an internal inquiry regarding this transaction, which ended up with Amelia's write-up.
Do you still have access to Gerald's account? Are you sure about that?
If I still have access to it,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
You
mean, I can still go into it and look at it.
And no managers talked to you about access to his account since?
No, because
Do you know any of Gerald's family members?
I know his grandson who came to open the account.
Mm-hmm. What's his name?
I don't remember. I know they have the same last name.
Okay. And did you know him before that?
No, I only met him through the grandfather. And I know he has a daughter. His daughter's name is Cindy. She had called me.
She called you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What did she call you about?
I think last week, was it last week Monday or the week before?
Mm-hmm.
She had called me about her dad's account.
Mm-hmm. What did she say?
They had went into the branch for like a transaction history, and they were just calling me to confirm about the funds, about like what's going on. And
Cindy called you?
Mm-hmm.
She called you at work?
Well, yes, at work. She was at that branch at Americana, and they called me from there. So I'll let her know when I get home. I'll talk to her. But the thing is, like,
Hold on, let me make sure I understand. So she called you, so the branch that she was at called you at your branch?
At my branch and at my cell phone.
Well, they called both?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I think it was my desk phone.
Mm-hmm.
They called me at my desk,
Mm-hmm.
and I spoke to her over the phone. And she was just going through her dad's transaction history.
Okay. And what did she say to you? Mm-hmm.
She asked about the checks.
Mm-hmm.
That was really it. Oh, and the check that I had stopped that was supposed to go out, and then that he wanted to push back through, but it went out down. So those 2 things.
And you told her you were going to talk to her more when you got home?
Yeah, because I can't talk when I'm at work. I couldn't talk about the situation I was at work.
Okay. So tell me about the conversation. You called her when you got home?
Well, yeah, I spoke to her when I got home, but there's just certain information I'm not allowed to give her because there's no other name on the account besides the father.
Well, technically, you're not supposed to be talking on the cell phone with a client or
Well,
customer
yeah.
anyway, right?
Well, yeah, that's
All
the
right.
thing,
So,
so-
you're not worried about that. You were just worried about giving her information about Gerald.
Exactly.
Okay. So what did she ask you about?
She was just asking me about the transaction history on the account, but I'm trying to let her know that I can't.
The Bank Privacy Act prohibits sharing of personal, sensitive information. So whenever Cindy would go to the branch, they would not give her details of Gerald's account. Cindy was growing suspicious of Amelia and was trying to get in contact with her on a regular basis.
You said the text messages were okay, or would you say they were? What was the nature of the text messages? How many text messages did you get from her?
A couple. She was just asking me like, where are the checks? Like, why are the checks not going back into my dad's account? Like, why, kind of that stuff. So, but I can't tell her what her dad told me, or I can't tell her like what the severity of like what was going on, or what the checks were for, or like, I can only give her so much. I can't give her any information really. And the thing is, the conversations that I've previously had with her dad was that like she's not like a good person, or.
Well, I guess my question is, why were you not talking to Gerald about it?
I spoke to him while he was in the branch that day.
What day?
The day that they called me from the branch stating that.
And what did you say to Gerald?
Nothing. I was just asking him if everything's okay. He was just like, he came here to put his grandson on as a beneficiary, which I've been trying to have him do for a long time.
Wait a minute. Put his grandson on as a beneficiary.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that, so if something happened to Gerald, he gets all the money.
Yes.
But he didn't want to give him $50,000?
He didn't want to give him the funds right then and there. So that.
And this is where I get lost. I mean, follow me here. So he comes and opens an account and he transfers $10,000 over, right?
Yes.
So why does he have to take $50,000 out to get to you to hold on to when he could just transfer $10,000 over like that?
Well, the thing is, at the time of, he didn't want to give him the full funds. So
right, but Gerald's not spending a lot of money. Let's be real. I looked at his account. He's not spending a lot of money, right? No. So he can leave 50. He's got well more than 50,000 in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he can leave 50,000 in there
Mm-hmm.
and not spend it.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. It's not like he's spending money like it's going out of style.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't have to give you money to hold on to, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make any sense.
But that's what he did, though.
No, but here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listen, here's Amelia, listen. Okay, at a certain point in time, we have to move past it, all right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a nice guy,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure you really do care about him.
I do.
Do you see now?
Mm-hmm. But it's not like I don't want to make it. Okay.
Mm-mm. No.
Mm-hmm.
Did you take advantage of that old man?
I didn't take advantage. Yes.
Then let's get it right, okay?
But I don't want to say I took advantage of him. No.
What did you do then?
I don't want to say I took advantage of him because he's a really nice guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The detectives get her to admit that she stole the money. She confesses to taking advantage of an elderly, which is a felony charge. They then dig in for more information about the murders.
I think you need to start understanding something, okay? I think you need to start understanding the severity of the situation, all right? Because I don't know if you really do, all right? And I think you need to start understanding that how this interview goes and what decisions you make here are going to affect your life for a long, long, long time, okay? I think you think that you had this all planned out, and I think and again, not saying it in a bad way, but this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when we make mistakes, we figure things out and go, okay, all right, there's a lot more going on here, all right? And you know whose name is all over this right now? You, all right? And Joshua, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if there's things that are going on and it's not you or Joshua, you need to start thinking real hard and real fast, okay? Who is involved in this and what happened, okay?
That's all I know.
Okay. Things got out of hand. Okay, this got out of hand. I think what happened was Cindy was asking you for this money back, and you didn't have it, and there's some issues there. Okay, and things get out of hand. Sometimes, again, when we make a mistake, we do something wrong, and the ball gets rolling, and we can't stop it. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, listen, you have your whole life ahead of you.
I know.
You have a 7-year-old son.
That's
that
why
you.
I want.
Well, no, this is hey, this is
to
this. No, listen to me for a second. This is reality now. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You have a 7-year-old son. You have an obligation to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, whatever happened beyond this, all right, we need to know. Because right now, we need to know. Because if you want to keep going with what you're telling us, okay,
Mm-hmm.
then we're going to have to go on that, all right? And you have to understand.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? So somebody did something, we need to know now. We can't wait till later on,
Okay.
okay? So tell me what happened. Who did you talk to about this? Who did you tell about Cindy not stopping? Because she was continually calling you. You're saying, who did you talk
She
to about
called
it?
me. She wasn't
Okay,
continuing.
who did you talk to about it
My
besides
husband's
Josh?
the only one that knows.
Did Josh do something that he wasn't supposed to do?
Not that I know of.
Is it possible?
No.
How many guns does Josh have?
He had the one that he shot himself with.
Where's that at now?
They took it.
Okay.
And he shot himself.
What other guns does he have?
Nothing that I know of.
He never went and got another gun.
He got another gun maybe last week,
Okay.
like Monday,
Monday of last week?
I think.
What
so,
day was
or
it?
Tuesday.
What day?
I don't remember what day specifically.
You know what kind?
No, I don't know anything about guns at all.
Where did he go to get it?
I don't know. But I know he got one. We got into a huge fight about it.
Why?
Because he shot, the last time I've seen a gun in my house was when he shot himself in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, I don't want anything to do with one in my house. I don't want to see one. I don't want to touch one.
Mm-hmm.
I hate them. When I see one, I tremble. Like, it makes me shake. Because I was in the car when he shot himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I hate them. Like, I don't want to see anything. And he got one, and I got so upset with him.
Mm-hmm.
So upset. We got into a huge fight about it.
Amelia's husband Joshua was a witness to a shooting nearby and had bought a gun for his protection. This is the same gun that is used for the killings.
Relationship with Joshua.
I mean, we fight a lot. Just
Has he ever put his hands on you?
he has
Okay. When was the last time?
like nothing crazy. Like 2 weeks ago.
What happened 2 weeks ago?
He went through. I went out with a few friends, and I guess someone texted me, and he like flipped out because he didn't know who the person was. And
Does he have the code to your phone where he looks through it, or
hmm
do you have the code to his phone?
hmm
What's his code?
It's either 040506. He has more numbers than me, or 00000.
Okay.
Sometimes I just use my finger.
Do you ever like? Is there ever like trust issues where he goes through your phone to look for stuff like that?
Mhm.
How often does that happen?
This is only recently
Okay.
that he's been like kind of on my tail.
Has his behavior changed recently?
Mm-mm.
No. Has he ever threatened to kill you?
Mm-mm.
You ever seen any violent tendencies other than?
He gets really angry.
Okay.
He like yells.
What happens when he gets really angry?
I mean, he yells really loud. He like punches stuff like the wall. So yeah,
And are we safe to assume that Julian's the most important person in your life?
absolutely 100%.
Oh, so he drove your car today for what reason?
He took my car today to work.
Okay, why did he do that?
I don't know. He just took it. Well, we've been switching back and
Okay.
forth. So
Yeah.
today he just decided to take my car, and I was like, okay, I'll just drive yours because I'm just running errands today.
Did you ever talk with him about these inquiries that you were getting from Cindy?
Yeah.
Okay, so he knew that they were asking about it.
No, he knew. He knew about it.
Well,
He knew about the situation in general.
What was his response to it? What was he saying when you told him, hey, Cindy's asking questions about this?
Nothing. He was just like, why? Like, what does she want to know? And he's normally there when I talk to her sometimes. So.
But I would imagine, like, for two people like you that have never been in trouble in your lives,
Mhm.
that's going to cause you some stress, wouldn't it? Because, like, hey, did she ever say that she was going to call the police or call Chase or make any threats about that?
As Cindy was getting aware about the fraud, she was starting to ask questions and threaten Amelia. This was causing a huge rift between her and Josh.
No.
Well, this is the stuff we need to know. Listen, if he put you up to it, he put you up to it. That's okay. We need to know these things, though. Again, like Detective Moretti said, I think you're kind of at this crossroads right now, okay? You've got Josh, who you probably love, and he's your husband, okay? But you also have Julian. And you got to picture that little boy. You got to picture not being able to watch him grow up. Think about that for a second. Think about being put somewhere very far away from him, and the only way you're going to have contact with him is through letters. You're going to get pictures in jail, in prison, of your little boy growing up. That's your future. He's going to grow up with his grandparents, maybe? Who knows? Maybe Matthew's grandparents, maybe Matthew's parents, maybe somebody else will try and take him away from them. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. Nobody, we're not saying we're going to take your kids away from you, okay? Now's the time, all right? You got to start thinking long and hard who you have loyalty to. If Josh screwed up, he screwed up. That's not on you. But anything you know about that, we need to know about. He messed this up. He did this. He did this. And I don't want to go in there and have them tell me that you told him to go do it. Do you understand this? This whole thing. I'm talking about everything. We can't do this anymore. Now's the time. Tell us what he did. So you can look at your son and say, I did the right thing in the end. What did he do? We need to know.
I don't want to go to jail. I don't
Tell
want
us,
to.
listen, you have to trust us. Okay?
I don't want to get in trouble for
We know
any
you
of
didn't
this.
do this. We know
I
you
don't want to
didn't.
get in trouble for any of this.
What did he do?
Nothing to do with
What
me.
did he do?
I don't know the severity of what he did,
What did he do?
but he knows the relationship that I have with Mr. Stack. He knows that. I mean, I would take him food, like,
Listen to me.
so at a point he would get upset with me that, like, I'm too nice, that I can't kind of act with my customers, but he's an old guy. He has no family. He has nobody, like, nobody. And I guess he was started to get upset that why are you letting your feelings at work push you out, kind of like, and make you react outside. And well, I mean, I talked to him because, you know, as my husband, I talked to him.
Did Josh say that you kind of were owed this money because you were taking care of this guy?
I don't know if he said that, but
Something like that? What did he tell you?
don't want to get in trouble. I didn't do anything.
Okay. We need to know. Well, then tell us, okay? Tell us.
I don't want to say. I don't know what he did. That.
What do you? Okay. What do you think he did?
I don't think he did anything.
They're both dead.
What?
Yeah. They're dead. So now we really need to talk. Okay?
How did they die?
They were murdered.
Where?
They tell Amelia that the family was murdered. She looks shocked. The detectives then start to mount more pressure on her.
I want to go back. I want to go back again. I just want to really make sure we understand each other. 'Cause, again, just certain things that don't make any sense to me, they get lost. I'm trying to understand this, okay?
Mm-hmm. They asked me at work, why didn't he come inside?
And when you went to Gerald's house after that, you went and told him to say, hey.
No. This is a conversation we had previously. So he was like, I told him that, because you have to sign these documents. So I had to tell Global Security. They asked me, like, where
Did you
was
sign his signature? Let's.
Oh, no.
Listen, I looked at those. That does not look like his signature.
No, I didn't.
Who signed him?
He did. That I did not. No.
When the SWAT team hit your house, we're collecting evidence. Let me just tell you right now, just so you know, okay? If we find out that you knew about this murder, contributed to it in any way, knew about it before or after it happened, you're going to be charged with first-degree murder, and that is life in prison, even if you didn't pull the trigger, okay? So what Detective Ferreira has been more than patient with you talking to you about is, don't let us leave the room with you holding something back. Because if the evidence shows it, and somebody plays this tape for people that are going to decide what's going to happen to you in the future and the relationship you're going to have with your son, and they're going to sit in there and they're going to, that woman sat there and lied to Detective Ferreira for hours and hours, knowing what had happened. And that is going to compound this issue. I know you don't want to get into trouble. It's too late for that, okay? It's too late for that. You were right in this thing. We firmly believe that you didn't go over there and kill these people. We'll be perfectly honest with you. That's not what we think. But if the evidence shows that you knew about it ahead of time, if you provided your husband with their address even.
How did Josh get their home address?
Well, I'm not too sure. He had their phone number.
How did he get their phone number?
My cell phone.
You gave it to him.
I gave him their phone number. He has access to my phone.
Okay. Did you let him look at your phone so he get the phone number?
He takes my phone all the time. I have them saved under their names.
Okay. So why did he take your phone to look for their phone number?
Because he knew they were calling. I don't think he
was
looking for their phone number.
He knew they were calling. What were you telling him about why they were calling?
What was I telling him?
Listen, again, like he's saying, this doesn't just... Whatever volatile relationship you have with Josh, however it is or whatever, you two conspired to take this money from this man, okay? So when a family member, like he said, I don't know how many more times we're going to say it, when a family member comes and starts saying, I need, listen, this isn't a one-time phone call. This is multiple times. She's calling you multiple times, okay? You called her. We see it. We know this.
No, of course,
you called Sean. You dropped Sean off near his house. You know what? You opened his account. You know where he lives.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't give Josh their address.
Somehow or other he winds up over there. How does he get over there?
I have no clue. I didn't give him the address. And that's something you can ask Josh himself. I've never given Josh
Do you
the
think
address.
Josh killed these people?
Do I think so?
Yeah.
I would know. I hope not. I mean...
So it's just a coincidence that they ended up dead that day?
And he wasn't home?
Is he capable of killing people over this?
He's capable of killing someone, yes.
As this interview is going on, Josh is now in custody and waiting in the room across the hallway.
Okay.
And you have absolutely no knowledge whatsoever of where this money is right now, if there's anything left or where it is.
No.
Okay. Well, Josh is here, okay, and you're at least going to have to stay here till we're done talking with him.
Of course,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you want anything to eat? We got a snack bar down there.
I'm not hungry. My
Okay.
stomach is just...
If you do, just knock on the door. Okay.
Can I use the restroom?
Bathroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get somebody to use that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I done, or...?
Well, we have some more talking to do.
Oh, with him?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, talk to him. Please, 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 please.
We'll be back.
Okay, it's completely
Anything else?
fine.
No.
Okay, the time is now approximately 48 hours, 28 hours. That concludes this interview.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Will I be able to go home later today or no?
We're gonna have to see. We're interested in seeing what Josh says.
So depending on his conversation with him.
His. You know, the problem is that issued for your arrest.
Me?
Yes, for the theft.
Oh,
All the stuff having to do with the theft.
okay.
What I would tell you is that don't be as concerned about what's going to happen to you today as what's going to happen to you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
So meaning I'm not going home.
Probably not. But
So meaning I'm going to jail.
there's a difference between jail and prison, okay? In jail, you will have a bond, and your parents will be able to bond you out, okay? If down the line and a first-degree murder charge rolls up against you, okay, that means prison, and that means years.
Why
So
would
that's
I
what
be? Whoa.
That's what I said. You have to be more concerned about what's going to happen to you down the road than what's going to happen to you today. You got to be held. There's going to be consequences. I mean, you, like I said, we could call it whatever you want, but the bottom line is, you and your husband stole $50,000. Okay.
And it's not like it's
Yeah.
100, 200, even like $5,000.
Yeah.
$50,000 is a lot of money.
And you're in the banking business. Somebody's got to be held responsible if they steal $50,000. That's not something you can just walk away from. And you really don't have the ability to pay it back. I mean, that's the other issue. You don't have $50,000 in the bank right now to pay this guy back. And the other thing is, unless Josh tells us, or I don't know what he's going to tell us about the money, but it could be gone, or he could have some of it stashed away, and so some of it could come back. But yeah, I mean, you got to understand. You got to wrap your head around the fact that, okay, yeah, you're going to be held criminally responsible for stealing that money. But now, what happens with these murders is really dependent upon other things.
They then tell her about the charges being laid and leave the room. Josh is transported from his work directly to the police station for the interview. The detectives head directly from Amelia's room to speak with him.
Oh, thanks. Hey, how you doing? Josh?
Oh, yeah.
Cold?
It is cold in
Well,
here.
that water's a little warm, so that might warm you up a little
Oh,
bit.
jeez. Yeah, it's cold in here.
Doing all right, buddy?
Yeah.
All right, they got you to the bathroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You wash your hands?
No.
No? I was going to say, I'll give you one of these then. How about that?
Yeah.
Detective Ferrer. This is
Yeah, they
Detective
told me not to
Ferrer.
wash my hands.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Josh.
All right. All right. You get one of those. Yeah. All right.
So Josh had a pretty harrowing thing with the Ocoee Police Department a couple weeks ago.
No, that was on Tuesday, I think, last week.
Yeah, we actually were sitting in here. We heard that because they sent out a single 43, which goes everywhere.
Yeah.
I guess the kid tried to run the cop over.
Yeah. As soon as I dropped my son to school, I turned the corner and I heard 3 shots, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" He tried to hit my car, and I was like, "All right." I followed him around the corner, and then
Good
I
for
guess
you.
but it was a good thing because my neighbor, his name was Travis. He works for a Ocoee Police Department, so
Yeah.
those guys got there pretty quick.
Good, yeah. That was weird. Anyway.
All right, Josh. Well, we can explain to you what's going on. Obviously, I'm sure you want to know. Get a couple things we need to go over first before we do that.
Okay.
I'm going to put the recorder on, just so we don't miss anything.
Gotcha.
Don't put any words in your mouth. I always tell
That's
people.
fine, yeah.
People get scared. I'm like, you know what? I can't
Yeah,
put
well,
words
this
in your
morning
mouth.
I was
Yeah.
like, what the heck's going on? Because my wife was like, listen, there's a car outside the house. My mother-in-law was like, there's a car outside the house. I'm like, all right, because then she worked for Chase too, so I guess her branch manager and somebody else got followed the other night after they left work.
Mhm.
So we're all like skeptical, like what's going on? We don't know, because we don't live that far from her where she works. So
Okay.
I was like, everything going on. I was like, nah, this is not right.
Right.
Well, let me turn this on. We'll go from there. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
After a little chit-chat, the detectives read him his rights and come directly to the point.
No. Let me ask you this question. I'm going to throw this out to you. Why do you think you're sitting here right now?
I honestly have no idea.
No idea.
No idea.
Okay. Have you? Well, let me just get you straight. What was the last bank account that you opened?
Bank of America.
Okay. In whose name?
In my name and Julian's name.
Okay. Tell me about that.
My wife came home.
Who'd you go with?
I went by myself.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Which
Actually went to
branch did you go to?
The Ocoee branch.
Do you remember when that was?
I can't honestly remember.
This month? Last month?
No. It wasn't. It was probably a couple months. Trying to think. think it was before I started working for Chase. I think.
Josh had recently opened a joint account with his son. This is the same account that was used to deposit the fraud checks.
I had a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then after this whole situation, of course, Orange County had the gun. So I was like, we had a thunderstorm. I think it was like Sunday. And I was like, we saw a car pull up in the yard, or I did. And I was like, I don't know who it is. I put the light on, the car drove away. So I'm like, okay, fine. And I was like, things are getting a little crazy where we live. We need some type of protection in the house. And then she started bitching at me, and I'm like, oh my God. She was like, oh, what if that happens to you? What if you kill yourself again or injure yourself again? And I'm like, got into an argument, and I was like, fuck it. I was like, all right. And then I left the house. She was all bitching at me, this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, I went back with my parents. And then, where did I go? Got into an argument. I know I ended up at Alchemy Hookah Lounge around like 11:30 that night. That was on Tuesday. I took a drive to Daytona, and I actually chucked the fucking gun over the damn bridge. I was like, fuck it. And she was like, what the hell did you do?
Okay, which bridge in Daytona did you really go off of?
Josh explains that when he got in a fight with Amelia over the gun, he got frustrated and threw the gun under the bridge near Daytona. This gun, which is the murder weapon, was never located.
So, we've been doing this for a while.
Okay.
You seem like a very good guy. The little bit I'm talking to you, you're respectful and you're nice. And you got to understand, sometimes we have more answers than you know.
Yeah.
All right? We've asked you questions to see where you're at.
Mm.
Okay. If there's anything that you think we need to know, I mean, now's the time to tell us. Okay. There's probably a little bit more to this story. The whole thing, $50,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay. And, you have to be wondering why I'm asking about that. See, that's the funny thing. You haven't asked me yet. Like, why am I asking about that, right? There's a lot going on here, okay? And I need to understand from you where you were at, okay, in this whole thing. And you gotta understand that right now, you being honest with us is the best thing in the world, okay? We're your best friends here, okay?
Okay.
You have to be able to explain your actions and what you did. And if we can't understand that, then it looks really bad.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's walk through this a little bit, okay?
Mhm.
What are we missing?
Nothing that I know of. I mean, told you guys where I was, what I was doing. I mean, you could check our phone records too. We've been fighting for a long time.
Well, explain this to me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How is it that you wound up at Cynthia's house, Cynthia's apartment over on Jefferson? Because I have eyewitnesses that put you there.
That I ended up there?
You're very, listen, let's you have kind of a distinct look. You understand what I'm saying? And you have a distinct car. Well, not a distinct car. I should take that back. But I think it's telling that you said it was maroon. All right, because that's an eyewitness describes it as a maroon Nissan Altima with a guy that's your height, hair parted, 2 earrings, everything. You're there. Okay, I have no question about that. All right. So what we're trying to understand is why you were there. Why were you at Cynthia's place? And again,
I was never at her place.
Okay. All right.
And I don't even know where she, like I said, I don't know anything about Gerald's family. Nothing.
And you were never at his house either?
No.
You understand we have the notarized document, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know we were there when you went there with the notary. We have that document.
Yeah, well, I never physically met him.
Okay. You were in his house. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But Cynthia, I was never at her house.
Listen to me. You have to understand something, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're probably scared right now, all right? Because you're not somebody that gets in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? Okay? You have to understand, like I said, there's 2 sides to every story. All right? The eyewitness has no reason to lie.
Correct.
Okay? And there's no point in that, okay? So, you were there. Well, I need to know why you were there. You understand what I'm saying? If there's some innocent reason, I need to know. But I need to know why. So, why did you go there? Did you go there to tell them that you were going to pay him back?
No, okay. Can we clear this whole thing out?
What's up?
Okay. So, Amelia was freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, I did chuck my gun over the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Okay. Okay. Tell me about
So-
that.
She sent somebody, I don't know who she sent, to go to either talk to them. I don't know if it was the same day or same night, but after that I went to Alchemy and talked,
When confronted with the eyewitness account, Josh, who looks under immense pressure, tells them that Amelia is the mastermind of the plot and had sent someone to take care of the situation.
And from what I understand, that was it.
So, if I'm understanding you right, you're saying Amelia is the one that talked to somebody to take care of them?
Yeah, and I don't
Why?
know. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, how do you know that?
Well, there was a kid that came to our house,
What's his name?
Jay something. I don't know his phone. I've seen him once at my house, and that was it. And that was for Amelia's birthday party.
Okay.
And she told me, how she's gonna talk to him to talk to her, to stay away from her. And I was like, it's not making sense, Like, what's going on, or whatever. And then I went there, talked to the lady, talked to her son,
How do we find this guy?
Find who?
This person that she talked to.
Oh, how do you find
Yeah.
him? I can give you, I think I have his phone number.
Okay. You have
It's
his
some guy
phone
that,
number?
I know his name is Jay Prasad or something like that.
Okay. And
Jay Prasad was Amelia's friend for a long time. He was in a regular brush with the law. Josh tries to implicate him. However, the detectives don't agree.
no, it just doesn't make any sense. You know who throws a gun over a bridge? And that's what I really think happened to this thing. That you threw the gun over the bridge. We know you went to Daytona because we got the receipt and everything else that you went to Daytona. We know you got gas over there. All right? What makes more sense is, well, I mean, you threw a gun because you used it.
No.
Yes. Josh, listen to me. Listen. Again, I think we're trying to figure out the why right now. That's about all we're trying to figure out, okay? We're not trying to figure out the who. We're trying to figure out the why. And I told you, this is your time. We can't sit here forever, and think, this is your time to tell us why. And like I said, a panic is different than I went over there and I wanted to do it. You had every reason to do this. Okay? Not somebody else. You. Okay? When people come in here and tell us, I was driving around for a little while and I can't remember where I went, or I don't, that we know, I know exactly what's going on there, okay? And for you not to tell us that you went to that apartment, there's a reason why, all right? So again, this is not to figure out who, it's to figure out why. And this is your time. This is you. This is you, not us.
After discrediting Josh's story, the detectives start turning up the heat on him.
And all these different phone calls and whatnot. But she's over there saying that you killed these people. You're over here saying that she paid somebody to kill these people.
Yes.
So my thing is that
I'll tell you right now, straight up. I was there. My gun was taken from me by some black guy that said he knows Jay. Amelia gave him $10,000. I thought the money was going to go get paid as far as, okay, this is going to get paid. Maybe they're buying drugs or something.
so the money, presumably this $10,000 would have come out of the TD account.
No, that was cash she had at home
How did she have $10,000 cash?
from what I brought home.
Okay. So the thing is, what I'm trying to wrap my head around is, one of you is a really awful person. Someone is letting their spouse go to prison for the rest of their life for something that they did. Is it you or her?
I didn't. I don't have a bone in me to kill anybody.
Joshua, the trigger man in this murder, blames it all on Amelia.
All right, buddy. We'll be back. We'll get you.
But all I know, like I said, I got there, talked to her. I called Amelia at 11 something. She didn't answer. I talked to her cousins and I said, hey, do you know where Amelia is? No. I said, all right, I'm going to go hang out. That's when I was confronted.
Justin, just before we leave, this is what I would tell you, okay? In this situation, when down the line people are trying to figure out the punishment, who gets punished for this, they want to see a couple things. And of course, the truth's one thing, remorse is another. But the things you're telling us, we have to do our jobs and we're going to check it out.
That's fine.
If it shows that you were lying, and this goes for Amelia too.
Yeah.
If this shows that you were lying and that you were trying to bring some innocent person into
No,
this,
I'm telling you now. You could check the cameras. You could. I don't know if the cameras could see.
well, like I
inside
said,
the
you
car.
may have been
Yeah.
there. Like I said, but that's right. That you very well could have met with Jay and this guy. Okay, but the problem is that gun thing for you right now.
Yeah.
Okay, that one's, and the fact that you were this. We had a neighbor ID you. Right, that Nissan Altima, describe you to a
Yeah,
T.
because I was there.
Yeah,
I was
that's
there,
why we knew you
Yeah.
were there. We knew that you were there. And then you conveniently don't have your phone on. I mean, those things all add up to a lot of smoke. And where there's smoke, there's fire. And but like I said, we're not going to be unfair to you. That you've
Yeah.
told us, you've told us something.
It's
As Josh is being interviewed in the interrogation room, we see a classic good cop, bad cop example where a detective from the PD tries to extract more information from Amelia.
It's too long. I know you're cold. Hey, you need to talk to him. You need to get out from underneath this big time. Did I tell you who they work for?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're homicide detectives, so.
I know.
And they want you to be a witness, not a suspect.
Okay.
So the only way it's going to happen is you got to talk to him.
That's why I want to talk to them, because I just don't want to be involved in any of this. Like,
Okay.
I don't want any part of this. I want to be able to go home.
Okay.
This-
What didn't you tell him?
He is able to extract important information about the murders and that Amelia knew about the killings.
Basically said, like, what he did or if anything was done.
Did he say he shot him?
Well, I'm guessing he had his gun, so.
Don't guess. Did he tell you that he shot him?
Yes.
He said he shot him.
Mm-hmm.
Where did he go?
Oh, I don't know. He didn't say anything. about
But he
that.
said he shot him. Who did he say he shot?
He said he shot the lady and the kid.
And the kid. Okay. And then after that's when he put his clothes in a bag and then took the gun and left.
He put everything in like a clear.
So he knew he killed him.
Who?
You knew he killed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he
His
said.
defense is going to be, it was your idea. So this is something you need to get out from underneath this, because I mean, obviously he ain't gonna do anything but to protect himself.
Of course.
All right. So when did you know he was going to go over there and shoot him?
When I got home for lunch the day before.
The day before. You knew he was going over to shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why? He.
Well, how did you know?
Oh, he told me.
He said, "I'm gonna go shoot him."
He didn't say that. He said, I'm going to handle the situation.
Okay, but did he mention the word shooting?
No.
Okay, did he have the gun and say, "I'm gonna go handle the situation"? What makes you think he was going over there to shoot him prior to it happening?
Well, I mean, why purchase a gun the day before and then say that you're going over there? That was kind of like where I was confused at.
Very logical thinking.
Yeah.
And so
And
from
then he
him
told-
buying the gun and what he said, you
Put two and two together.
he was going there. Okay, and
And
then
then he-
after. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He told me if I say anything that he'll kill me too.
And this is after you knew he shot him.
Yes.
Okay, well, you ain't gonna worry about that. About him trying to hurt you, because he's never gonna see the light of day again.
Okay.
But when they come back in here, sweetie, everything,
Okay.
even if you think it's bad for you, I'm telling you, not saying it is worse.
Okay.
So even if you think that maybe you said something that you think's really bad, I'm telling you, coming out later is not a good thing. It needs to come out now, because the person that pulled the trigger is who we want.
Of course.
Okay?
Mhm.
All
I
right.
just don't want anyone to think that I didn't know that it was gonna I didn't know
Look,
that this was gonna
look.
happen. Why would he do something like? It's just like, why would you do something so stupid? And it's just two innocent people. Like, it's just like, why?
Don't worry about it. Listen, I'm gonna get them. They're talking to someone right now, but I'm gonna have them come here and talk to you. Okay?
And then put me in the middle of this. A child. Like,
I know. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll be back in a minute. Okay?
oh.
Better?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yes.
Okay. I gotta tell you, Josh, and I know Detective Pereira feels. I think both of us are totally baffled after talking with both you and your wife for the whole day. How two people like you end up in a situation like this?
It's a shitty situation, and I hate to say it.
And it's compounded by the fact that one of you is trying to send the other one to prison for the rest of their lives, because you're telling totally different stories.
The detectives come in after analyzing the footage and remind Josh about his rights.
I want to go back over that. Okay. So, and then, we'll go back over a couple of things. So Jay comes into the picture because Cynthia won't stop calling Amelia.
Yeah, and I think that was Thursday night. Thursday or Friday night.
Okay.
One or the other. I know we met with him three nights.
Is it because Cynthia won't stop calling Amelia, or is it because you guys are trying to flip these pills for cash quick? What's the more? Is it more that you try?
Well, no. He came to the house first.
For the pills?
No, he came to the house first
Mm-hmm.
because Amelia texted him, "Hey, come to the house" or something like that. Because they
Mhm.
were talking outside for about 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in the house. She came back in the house. She said, "Oh, Jay wants to talk to you."
Mm-hmm.
And while we were conversating about, him and Amelia talked, and he's gonna need some money, I said, "Okay, that's fine."
Hold on. What did he say him and Amelia talked about?
He all he said was that Amelia told me the situation. He said he's known Amelia for a number of years, like a sister,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants to go ahead and not get us involved.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to go ahead and do what he has to do to go ahead and make things right. And I told him, "Hey," and I said, "Oh, he's saying I know you guys owe them some money or something like that, and he can basically get some, I don't know, flip money or something." And that's when I told him, "Hey, he was like, "Oh, I hurt myself," because I was telling him about my leg
Mm-hmm.
and how I stopped using my medication and I started using CBD.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Yeah, I ran out of medicine." And I told him, "I have in the house. I have," and I told him it's probably about 50 pills or so. And I said, "If you need to use them, use them. Whatever you need to do, sell the rest. Simple." And he said, "Okay." I gave it to him. I threw my medicine bottle in the recycle bin because I didn't want him to have any of my, my name information, my doctor's information. I gave him the bag with the medicine, and then I gave him the money too.
How much money?
I think it was like $1,000 that night.
Now, here's the thing. If I'm in your situation, I got a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money problems. I guess you're trying to figure out money. It's not easy to just give somebody $1,000. Okay, so you gave him $1,000 with the understanding of what?
That he was gonna either buy something to flip and make more money, or I don't like, and that's why I gave him the pills
Okay,
too.
So the only thing that you talked to him about was basically making you money to get back to them.
Yeah.
Okay, so you gave him money to go buy. What kind of drugs did you say he was going to buy?
He didn't tell me what he was gonna buy.
But he was going to flip it.
Yeah, he was gonna flip the money and get. And
How much was he going to take for doing that?
He was like, "This is Amelia. This is my sister. I'm gonna do her a favor."
Okay, so he's going to sell the pills and flip whatever
Flip
drugs he bought.
drugs, whatever
Okay.
he's buying.
So
Because that's why we had to give
That
him
was-
the $10,000.
that was to buy drugs.
Yeah.
To flip.
Yeah, to whatever he was gonna do with the money to go ahead and make.
Okay,
Make this work.
so let's hold on a second. So now, see, that we've got a disconnect now. I don't know. Do you see this disconnect? I see it. Okay. So take care of the problem for you and him was Jay was basically going to buy drugs and flip them and give you money. So you,
But I don't know what Amelia and him had a conversation about.
okay. Well, does it really matter? Because the understanding was you were going to give him drugs. I mean, give him money so he could buy drugs to give you guys money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Josh backtracks and tells them that he gave the money to Jay so he could invest and flip the money. He goes on to say that he never planned for the killings to take place. The detectives quickly overrule it.
To get rid of these two people.
Right, and that's where I come back to. We're right back to square one, okay? If you paid them to do this, how do you think that makes you? How do you think that makes your hands any less dirty?
It did. I am dirty. I understand that. I
You are
completely
just
understand
as
that.
guilty as they are.
Correct.
Okay, so how
And
did
I
you find out
completely
from Jay
understand.
that they actually did what you asked them to do?
I didn't.
So they did this and they didn't tell you.
Did your wife have any conversations with Jay after this?
I have no idea. I
Okay.
asked her, "Hey, did you talk to Jay?" She said, "No, I haven't heard from him." So I don't know if she did or if she didn't.
Okay.
About the whole getting, because that was a conversation we had.
Tell me about it.
Was, "Hey, can we go ahead?" And I told her,
Mm-hmm.
and
This is after you paid these people to take care of her.
correct.
Why would you be worried about paying her back the money when you already paid these people $10,000 to kill her?
Because to me, it's like one or the other. You either start. I mean, and we hate to laugh, but it's like it's been going on all day
Why?
between you and your wife.
Tell me why.
Why would you go over there and try and talk to her? Why would you talk to Amelia about paying her back?
Because they're two innocent people. Like,
Okay, did you make any efforts to call Jay and tell him not to do it and we want the money back and we want to go pay her?
no, I would. No.
No, why not? Why?
I don't know.
You don't know? That's the best answer you have? I don't know.
All I know is I went there.
No, it's not all you know. Stop saying that. Amelia knew exactly why you were there. Amelia knew exactly where to look for you. Pretty funny, don't you think? I mean, the fact of the matter is your phone is off. Why? Because you went there. Because if it was so innocent in the first place, you would have told us about it. But you didn't. So Amelia knew where to go look for you. And there's a reason why they were asking where your gun was. Jesus Christ, even your sister's asking about this.
The detectives let him know that they are not satisfied with his answers.
With her baby daddy problems, and
She says you're abusive, mentally and physically. I mean, that's the picture she's painting of you, Josh. I
I'm not.
hate to burst that bubble for you, but we asked her about that, and she used as an excuse for some of the things that went on. She said that you are abusive. You threatened to kill her entire family if she talked about this. So that's the picture that she's painting of you.
And that's not me. I mean, that blows my mind.
You know?
That blows my.
Both of what you have said today blows my mind.
That blows my mind.
But this doesn't look good for you, Josh. But we're going to do our jobs. And just know that.
And I want you guys to.
And that could end up with you going to jail for murder. You know? Because, again, there's a lot of things here. I'm not a big believer in coincidences. Neither one of us are. You know? But you think about all those things that you got going against you at this point in this case. That you're there. That you have a gun. That it's got missing. You're unaccounted for. You know, you absolutely have a motive. You've already tried to make some half-assed attempt to have these people killed or to regenerate some more money. I mean, there's just a lot of problems.
After an agonizing wait of over 11 hours in the interrogation room, Joshua and Amelia are both arrested for the murder of Sean and Cynthia Stack. Joshua was convicted of first-degree murder and received 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Amelia testified against Josh in the court and received 3 years imprisonment with 15 years of probation. Greed and easy money were the driving factors in this senseless act, which ended up with the brutal killing of a mother and her son. Her daughter Emily, who had recently lost her father, had to go through another tragedy of losing her family members. There is a GoFundMe page created for Emily and the link is in description. Thank you for watching this video. Please consider liking and subscribing for more content.